I've watched things wear down with the years, the shine of new things settling into something plainer. The enthusiasm that arrives with every beginning becoming over time the quieter and saner. And I expected that to happen here as well, not from pessimism, from the honest observation that what starts with heat and wonder tends to find a more sustainable, if cooler, destination. But something different happened with this one. The years didn't flatten it, they deepened it instead. What I feel for you today isn't the same as at the start. It's more considered, more specific, more well-read. Not the same love at a lower temperature, a different love entirely built on what came before. The kind that knows the person, not the early impression. The kind that's opened every room and knows what's in each door. My lasting love, not lasting like it simply hasn't ended yet. Lasting like it's built from the materials that hold, from the honest and the tested and the daily and the med. My lasting love, and lasting means it changed and still remained itself. That it grew past the beginning into something more specific, more real than what the early version kept on shelf. It lasted because it was worth the lasting. It lasted because we made it worth the while. My lasting love still here, still growing, still entirely worth the mile. The years have done their work on us, I won't pretend. They've asked for things that easier love would have declined. They've tested what we said we were to each other and found us imperfectly but genuinely aligned. Not untouched, the years leave their marks on everything, but marked in ways that added rather than took away. The particular depth of two people who've been through things and came out still choosing the same person day by day. And that accumulated choosing is the lasting, not a passive thing that happens if you wait long enough. The active daily, sometimes costly recommitment, the love that lasts because it kept on being tough. Not the same love at a lower temperature, a different love entirely built on what came before. The kind that knows the person, not the early impression. The kind that's opened every room and knows what's in each door. My lasting love, not lasting like it simply hasn't ended yet. Lasting like it's built from the materials that hold, from the honest and the tested and the daily and the med. My lasting love, and lasting means it changed and still remained itself. That it grew past the beginning into something more specific, more real than what the early version kept on shelf. It lasted because it was worth the lasting. It lasted because we made it worth the while. My lasting love still here, still growing, still entirely worth the mile. The things that last aren't always the things that shine. Sometimes what endures is quieter than what announces. The steady thread that runs through all the seasons. The love that doesn't need the stage but still pronounces. And what we have is like that, more thread than fanfare, more constant than spectacular, more real than staged. More the kind that someone finds still there at the ending than the kind that burned the brightest on the first and early page. That's the lasting, that's what I mean. Not the loudest, the one still going when the noise has settled. My lasting love, not lasting like it simply hasn't ended yet. Lasting like it's built from the materials that hold, from the honest and the tested and the daily and the med. My lasting love, and lasting means it changed and still remained itself. That it grew past the beginning into something more specific, more real than what the early version kept on shelf. It lasted because because it was worth the lasting. It lasted because we made it worth the while. My lasting love, still here, still growing, still entirely worth the mile. Not the loudest, not the brightest at the start, the one still here, the one that grew. My lasting love. There's a kind of devotion that lives quietly, that does its work without announcing what it costs. And I have that kind too, the steady, unremarkable, the daily choosing that continues without being glossed. But underneath the steady, there's the other kind, the one that doesn't wait for the right moment to ignite, the one that surfaces when something reaches deep enough, the particular burn of something that refuses to stay quiet. Not reckless, I wanna be honest about that. Not the fire that destroys what it was meant to warm, the fire that sustains, that gives the cold thing heat, that keeps on burning through the stillness and the storm. Not the flame that flares and then exhausts itself, the kind that learned to burn without consuming what it loves. The devotion that is heat and also has direction, that knows the difference between fire from and fire. The fire of my devotion, not decorative, not something kept behind a glass, the actual thing, the warmth that doesn't wait for asking, the burn that doesn't cool and doesn't pass. The fire of my devotion, in every choice I make that points in your direction, in the heat that lives beneath the ordinary, showing up in the passion underneath the daily quiet affection. Not performance, not the dramatic kind. The fire of my devotion, real and constant, burning yours. I feel it most when something threatens what we've built, when the world gets close enough to test the temperature. And what I find inside those moments isn't cold, it's the opposite, a heat that's clear and sure. The fire that says this matters, this completely, not the anxious kind, a certain kind, the strong, the particular heat of knowing what is worth the protecting, of understanding where I absolutely belong. And I carry that, not as burden, but as fuel, the fire that makes the difficult feel possible to face, that reminds me why the showing up is worth it, that keeps the whole thing burning in its place. Not the flame that flares and then exhausts itself, the kind that learned to burn without consuming what it loves. The devotion that is heat and also has direction, that knows the difference between fire from and fire. The fire of my devotion, not decorative, not something kept behind a glass, the actual thing, the warmth that doesn't wait for asking, the burn that doesn't cool and doesn't pass. The fire of my devotion, in every choice I make that points in your direction, in the heat that lives beneath the ordinary, showing up in the passion underneath the daily quiet affection. Not performance, not the dramatic kind. The fire of my devotion, real and constant, burning yours. Fire gets misunderstood. People think it's only the consuming kind, the kind that asks for everything and leaves you with the embers, that burns bright once and then goes dark and blind. But fire at its best is something else entirely, the kind that warms without requiring the house, that gives its heat freely, consistently, sustainably, that burns because it's fed, not because it's aroused. That's the fire I mean, not the destroying kind, the devotion that burns because what it burns for is worth the burning. The fire of my devotion, not decorative, not something kept behind a glass, the actual thing, the warmth that doesn't wait for asking, the burn that doesn't cool and doesn't pass, the fire of my devotion. In every choice I make that points in your direction, in the heat that lives beneath the ordinary, showing up in the passion underneath the daily quiet affection. Not performance, not the dramatic kind, the fire of my devotion, real and constant, burning yours. Not the flash, not the flare, the steady burn, the constant warmth, the fire that knows what it's for. Yours, always burning, yours. Yours. I've made promises before, the kind that felt complete in the moment of the making, honest and well meant. And some held and some didn't. That's the truth of promises. They're only as strong as what the making person spent. So I've learned to be careful, not cold, just honest, to say the word for things I know I can't sustain, not to offer what the feeling asked for in the moment, but what the steadiest part of me can carry through the rain. And what I've found when I've looked honestly is that most of what I've promised has been circumstantial, depending on conditions, on the season, on the version. Not the kind that holds when nothing's providential, but there's one I keep returning to, one that doesn't bend when everything else does, one that's been the same in the difficult and the easy, the only promise I've been certain of, because my life's only promise, not the only thing I've said or meant along the way, the only one that has no asterisk or exit, the only one that holds the same on any given day. My life's only promise, and it isn't complicated or elaborate long. It's the promise to keep choosing you completely, to keep showing up for this, to keep belonging. One promise, real and kept. My life's only promise, and everything else I've ever said was just me finding my way to this. The single promise is the hardest kind to make, not because it asks for more than the others, because it asks for all. No reservation and no hedging, no smaller promise hiding underneath the covers. And I've arrived at this one through the living, not from certainty that landed all at once, from the gradual and daily demonstration of what matters, from the years of finding you at every front, the ordinary and the difficult. You are what I return to, what I orient by, and that the consistency of it across the changing is how I know this promise won't run dry. But there's one I keep returning to, one that doesn't bend when everything else does, one that's been the same in the difficult and the easy, the only promise I've been certain of, because my life's only promise, not the only thing I've said or meant along the way, the only one that has no asterisk or exit, the only one that holds the same on any given day. My life's only promise, and it isn't complicated or elaborate or long. It's the promise to keep choosing you completely, to keep showing up for this, to keep belonging. One promise, real and kept. My life's only promise, and everything else I've ever said was just me finding my way to this. A single promise is worth more than 100, when the single one is met with everything behind it, when it doesn't need the conditions or the circumstances, when wherever you look for it, you find it. And mine is there consistently, without announcement, not performed for anyone, including you, just present the way the truest things are present, because it's what I am, not just what I do. That's the only kind of promise worth the making, not the declared one, the lived one, not the said one that kept one every day, without exception. My life's only promise, but the only thing I've said I meant along the way. The only one that has no asterisk or exit, only one that holds the same on any given day. My life's only promise, and it isn't complicated or elaborate or long. It's the promise to keep choosing you completely, to keep showing up for this, to keep belonging. One promise, real and kept. My life's only promise, and everything else I've ever said was just me finding my way to this. Not declared, not performed, simply kept every day in the living of it. One promise, the only one that matters, yours. Yours.